cerebellum. So if it's to be at the cerebellum, this is the area it's going to. Does that make sense about the tracks? Okay. So, all these names that you're seeing listed, that's their goal, is to sort of let you know where something may start and something may end. Okay? Now, when we talk about the tracks, they do have a similar origin, all right? Because if you think about a spinal nerve is serving a certain area of the body. They have a similar destination, so that information from that particular area of the body by that particular spinal nerve, yeah, we've got a similar destination in the brain. And the function. So, once again, ascending, sensory information up, descending, motor information down, meaning the effect. Because the effects you get from sending information in, the effects are going to go to another nerve, muscle, and don't forget, we've got 3 types, okay, or a gland. Those are the only destinations for something to happen. That's it. We're going to have information go to another nerve, to a muscle, or to a gland. So, this right here, our information that has to go up. All right? Have you ever heard the saying, right controls the left, left controls the right? Meaning, the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. Ever heard that? Is that 100% correct? No. Okay? For the most part, that is how things work. Okay? If something is in the right side of the brain, left side of the body, we'll be carrying it out. But there are other ways for the communication and the carrying out of the effect. So, we have decussation, contralateral, ipsilateral. Well, decussation is simply, yes, crossing over from one side to the other, okay? So, you would have something that would come right side, cross over, go up the left, okay? Contralateral. There's actually a type of dance that's called contralateral dancing. I had a friend, I didn't a bit more know what this was, a man with a name, okay? And he's like, you want to go dancing? And he's like, it's called contra dancing. Me, you know, I was like, yeah, sure, we'll go. You know, I'll have a good time. No. Ugly. Because they give you like a little lesson ahead of time on what the moves are. And this type of movement didn't suit with me. Okay? Well, first of all, I can't really dance. All right? But, you know, I'm still going to go, still going to have a good time. So, contralateral, our origin, where something started, and destination, the effect of a tract, okay? Opposite sides of the body. Now, that comes into play with certain types of reflexes. Now, this is going to be reflexes with skeletal muscle. Okay, what's going to happen and how the body's going to compensate to help keep the body protected. Ipsilateral, origin and destination are on the same side of the body. Everything stays on one side. Nothing crosses over. Okay? So, if we look at information that we have to process and respond to, we have hopefully now know that sensory information needs to go up the spinal cord. Now, okay, y'all are going to get an idea of my art now, okay? It's not going to look a whole lot different. Just saying, okay? All right? Then I got my brain, my spinal cord. See, I told y'all it wasn't going to look much different. Okay? So, when information has to move, we say it has to go across 3 neurons. Now, in our bodies, we have the receptors to pick the information up, okay? We mentioned the senses, and when I was in school, there were 5 senses. There are now 6, okay? Our 5 senses, let me see if I can remember them. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch. Does anybody know what the 6th one is? Equilibrium. All right? Now, all of these senses are taking in information all the time. We have all these different types of nerve endings. We have all these different ways to pick up information. So, when we have a stimulus, okay, something, okay, we'll learn that could be outside the body versus inside the body, but that becomes when we talk about autonomic. They have to travel by way of these 3 neurons, these receptors. So in our skin, let's think about the integumentary system. Do you guys remember all the different types of nerve endings and corpuscles and all that sort of stuff that you learned in the integumentary system? Meissner's corpuscles, for example, just bare nerve endings. You had lamellar corpuscles. Y'all remember any of that? Well, they help, for example, to detect stuff like touch and pressure. We have like pain receptors, that sort of thing. So right now, as each of you are like sitting here, how many of you are noticing the pressure on the chair to your body? Were you noticing it before I mentioned it? Some of you might have noticed it. Yeah. But now you notice it, right? Okay? So, you actually have a receptor for that. So let's say that we've got our receptor. All right? Now, that information, all right, if I'm at first, second, third, all right, that first order detected the stimulus, i.e., the pressure of the chair. Now, that will travel by way of that nerve, okay? And therefore, since we're talking about it being on the lower part of the body, we'll come up to a lower region of the spinal cord because that's where that nerve's going to meet. All right? So, it will meet its second order neuron because it met it in the gray matter of the spinal cord. Is everybody with me? Now, we have to have that information once it travels up the spinal cord to the brain. There is something that has to get that information to the area of the brain it needs to go. And that is called our thalamus. Have you ever heard of that? Okay? So, we reach the area of the thalamus, and it will synapse with a neuron in the thalamus, and that will be my third order neuron.
And the thalamus is for the processing?
Well, in this case, for information that goes up, the thalamus, the job of the thalamus is to take all these signals and direct them to the area of the brain they need to go.
So that would be the sensory signal.
This is my sensory signal. This sensory signal. Now, think about the amount of sensory information your skin is taking in 24/7. Now, here's what will happen. That signal of the pressure, once it reaches the thalamus, it will direct it to the area of the brain that needs to respond to, for example, make you shift, make you get up, okay? Something to help relieve the pressure on that neuron that's picking it up. So it'll send it now. Think once again about the areas of the brain. We're going to have our cerebrum, our cerebellum. We're going to have our brain stem. It has to determine the correct area to send it to.
But the third order neutron is always in the thalamus.
Yes.
So I have a question. On the study guide, the first question, in terms of ascending and descending tracks, which one travels in gray matter and which one travels in white matter?
Okay, so right now, if we are looking at this, and let's go back.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. If we go back to looking at that, when we see this information coming in, ascending tracks for information coming in on that posterior side, we're going by way of the white matter.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
Yep.
All right, so